With 64 points, RB Leipzig is at the second position in the Bundesliga table. They have also booked their place at the final of DFB Pokal after defeating teams like Wolfsburg and Werder Bremen. Julian Nagelsmann, Leipzig's manager, can take some credit for his team's recent success. But the way Julian Nagelsmann became the manager of Hoffenheim for the first time at the age of 28 is a story on its own. Nagelsmann started his career at Augsburg and then in 2002 he moved to 1860 Munich. Later, he was forced to quit the game at the age of 21 in 2008 as he injured his knee. He was playing for Augsburg's second team at that time. Augsburg and 1860 Munich, both clubs are Bavarian rivals of Bayern Munich. After retiring, he worked as a football scout under Thomas Tuchel, who was Augsburg's second team coach at that time. Later, he managed a couple of youth teams for 1860 Munich before moving out of Bavaria and taking a job in Baden-Württemberg at the academy teams for Hoffenheim in 2010. After 5 years of coaching several ranks at Hoffenheim, he was said to be the first team manager of the club in 2016-17 season. But the manager of Hoffenheim, Hub Stevens, resigned in February for health reasons, and Nagelsmann was kind of forced into a managerial position. Hoffenheim at that time was in the second bottom in the league with 14 games to go and 7 points needed to stay up from relegation. Nagelsmann did something incredible. His team won half of their remaining games and finished 1 point from safety. The next year, he guided Hoffenheim to a 4th place finish as they qualified for the UEFA Champions League for the first time in their team's history. In the July of 2019, he became the manager of Leipzig. Over the years, teams like Spurs, Man United tried to sign Julian Nagelsmann, but Nagelsmann will join Bayern next season after Hansi Flick's departure. So in the midst of all this, we need to know how Nagelsmann operates his team, what his philosophies are, and what to expect from him while he manages Bayern Munich. So in this video, we'll talk about all these things in detail. Stay tuned. First, let's talk about his tactics. Nagelsmann's team isn't fixed to any specific formation. His team adapts to different systems according to the situation of the game and the opponent. But we can say, generally he starts with Leipzig with a 3-1-4-2 formation. In terms of defensive organization and transition management, Nagelsmann has a similar approach to Ralf Rangnick, Leipzig's previous manager. He wants his team to attack the opponent as early as possible to regain possession. This grants the team a chance to score and react quickly in both defensive and attacking transition moments. He puts more emphasis on his team circulating the ball to prepare a safer forward passing option. The philosophy of Nagelsmann is we press to score goals, not just to win possession. The starting point of an ideal attack is that the team press as high as possible to regain possession as close as possible from the opponent's goal. The risk with the high press is to be played through or over in the depth behind the high defensive line. Now the high defensive line we are talking about is somewhat different from the high line Bayern plays with. The difference is in maintaining the high line. Players like Upamecano helps the team to maintain that high line. The speed and the agility of the young defender helps him to do so. Upamecano has recorded the second fastest sprint in the Bundesliga this season, with a peak at 35.34 km per hour. Now, to prevent from being played through the high defensive line, Nagelsmann's team maintains a compact shape with the main reference point being the ball. The defenders also defend on the front foot, which basically means a player from the line behind should be ready to step up to attack the receiver between the lines to deny him to turn. Leipzig is also well disciplined when it comes to initiating the press. When the opposition is in balance or controls the ball, the team would maintain their high line while waiting for specific triggers like a loose touch or bad pass to start the press. Nagelsmann's side press in a diamond shape, with the two frontmen particularly crucial to kickstarting that process. Rather than forcing their opponents back towards their own goal, they like to pressure the opponents into the wide areas. This is where the wingback and the central midfielders are often ready to outnumber their opponents, looking to cut off passing lanes and restart the attack. In Nagelsmann's system, the fullbacks have relatively more freedom to start higher up. This sounds great for Alphonso Davies because his blistering pace could help Bayern to achieve that. In terms of specifics into how the team press, Nagelsmann's team shifts and slides with the play as a unit and attempts to create a defensive overload on the side of the pitch with the ball. If, for example, the ball was on the right side, you would expect the near-sided striker, wingback and both central midfielders to create a diamond and cut off all potential passing options, rather than a lone attacking midfielder like Emil Forsberg being tasked with the demand of pressing. It is also important to note that they usually have one striker actively involved in the pressing. When they inevitably wins the ball, Leipzig looks for the quickest route to goal through one-touch passing and attempting to link up with Yusuf Poulsen in particular due to his aerial threat, capability of holding up the play, and high position on the field. As a result, their intense pressing structure is an effective method to keep hold of the ball and stop the opposition from getting anywhere near their goal. Over the recent years, the Academy of TSG Hoffenheim developed players such as Niklas Süle, Jonas Hoffmann, David Salke, Nadim Amiri, and Siet Kolasinac. As Nagelsmann has been the academy coach at Hoffenheim, during those days he gained a key perspective on the importance of youth academy to the first team. His willingness to promote, purchase, and using youth players became a key contributor to his team's success. If we take a look at the promoted players during the time Nagelsmann was at Hoffenheim, firstly, Stefan Posch, one of the team's consistent starters at centre-back. Dennis Geiger, injured this season but a smart number 8. Kevin Ekpongoma, a key wing-back, and Christopher Baumgartner, widely considered to be the team's best player. Nico Schulz, Leonardo Bittencourt are the example of players Nagelsmann have signed when he was at Hoffenheim. All these players who have been promoted or bought at the time he was in charge at Hoffenheim gives us the idea of Nagelsmann's vision. Now, if we take a look at RB Leipzig's case, Nagelsmann may not be responsible for promoting players such as Dayot Upamecano, Ibrahim Konate or Marcel Sabitzer. He is responsible for putting them in their position to succeed, and he has done it fantastically. As of now, only 3 players from Leipzig are over 30, Peter Gulaschki, Philipp Schauner and Kevin Campbell. Still, Leipzig's average squad age is just 24.6 years. If we look at the players he bought as Leipzig's manager, we can see the majority of the players are young and affordable. Even when Nagelsmann leaves, Leipzig should be set for the future. Now if we talk about Bayern, the appointment of Nagelsmann means that we can see some new faces in the middle of talent stack proven bunch of players of the Bayern team. On the midfield, in the midst of proven talents like Joshua Kimmich and Leon Goretzka, we won't be surprised to see players like Mark Roca get quite a bit of playing time. Kind of the same thing that happened with Sebastian Rudi when Nagelsmann was in charge of Hoffenheim. Players like Jamal Musiala already shown some promising improvement under Hansi Flick. We are more than sure talents like this will be given more than enough time to improve under the new manager. Nagelsmann arrive also means a lot of importance will be given towards the youth development. The average age of Bayern as of now is 26.2 years. Although it doesn't sound so bad, but the important players like Manuel Neuer, Jerome Boateng, Robert Lewandowski and Thomas Muller are north of 30. This means soon the time will come when they have to replace these players. As the transfer fee is increasing and star young talents are hard to buy, investing in the youth ranks could be the most sensible and important thing that can happen under Nagelsmann's reign. Tim Weiser, former Hoffenheim and Germany international goalkeeper, nicknamed Julian Nagelsmann Mini Mourinho during his time at Academy in Sinsheim. Now, when a manager gets compared to Jose Mourinho, we can guess that they rely on defenders with high work rate. And Nagelsmann is no exception to that. Although there is a distinct difference between how these two managers operate their backline and defensive maneuvers. A traditional Mourinho backline depends on deep-lying centre-backs. But on the other hand, Nagelsmann backline is inclined towards gegenpressing, similar to the teams like Liverpool and Dortmund. But Nagelsmann gegenpressing has a twist of his own. It tends to vary his tactics based on the opponent. This allows for his side to stay flexible in their defense in front of different styles of attack from different opponents. While pressing, Nagelsmann tends to use the players of entire team to try and win the ball. In Leipzig, we have seen wingers to join the midfield and orchestrate a full-on pressing. While this sounds reckless, Nagelsmann team are relentless in cutting off passing lanes and apply pressure extremely. At Hoffenheim, it was common for side backs to press up the field and stop attacks down the flank. The central midfielder closest to the vulnerable wing joining the press. The rest of the team would rotate to keep the shape while also putting more pressure on the areas of need. As we know, Leipzig are incredible in their ability to revenge pressing after losing the ball. Players like Sabitzer became relentless in rushing back to maintain shape and shut down counterattacks before they even start. That's why Nagelsmann's team holds some best defensive records in the leagues over the past 5 seasons. Nagelsmann was blessed with promising youngsters such as Upamecano, Konate, Lucas Klostermann and Nordi Mukiele in Leipzig. Their energy meshed well with Nagelsmann's system and produced fantastic results. Now if we talk about Bayern, they have struggled defensively this season. So a change to Bayern's pressing game might be a good sign for the team. In order to make the attack stronger, an over-reliance on a high defensive line exposed Bayern often, leading to some unsavory goals. The match versus PSG were no difference to that. If we look at Bayern's defense, there is a good chance that the current defense can be molded to the style of Nagelsmann's game plan, as Niklas Süle has worked in this system before and Alphonso Davies and Benjamin Pavard are still young enough to learn. Young players like Chris Richards shown some great promise at his time on loan at Hoffenheim. As we talked about Nagelsmann's philosophy, there's a high chance that given the time and direction, he could become the next great Bayern centre-back. Last season, RB Leipzig's attack was one of the most impressive in Europe. However, this season, without Timo Werner, they have gone the other way to have one of the best defenses in the Europe instead. Now in terms of attack, Nagelsmann's system is nearly identical to the way Bayern's from their offense. In both cases, play will usually start with the centre-backs passing back and forth to find open passing lanes. Oftentimes, both systems deploy incisive passes to forward players with purpose of establishing the pressure. The main difference between the two systems starts from here. Bayern tends to poke the ball around at the edge of the box looking for spaces in the opposition defense, whereas Nagelsmann's Leipzig make clinical one-touch passes to quickly break past defenses. One-touch passes to players such as Forsberg, Sabitzer and Kuno give them the ability to jump things forward to oncoming attackers in any direction. It also allows the wingers to go up the field with side backs, often following in the build-up. When they had Timo Werner in the squad, the counter-attacking game has been very important to Leipzig. Even now without Werner, quick wing play has been essential to the success of the side. Leipzig tried to shake things up with a more traditional number 9 in form of Alexander Sorloth, but that hasn't produced similar results. The dynamism of Leipzig's midfielders such as Forsberg, Nkunku, Sabitzer seem to build up the attack so far, at least well enough that Leipzig is challenging for the title. Now if we come to Bayern, the arrival of Nagelsmann seems to be beneficial for two players in particular, Kingsley Coman and Alphonso Davies. If we analyze Leipzig's stats, it shows that Alphonso Davies is a perfect fit for Nagelsmann's system. The first team left wings for Leipzig is Angelino or Marcel Hastenberg. This season, Angelino has 4 goals and 4 assists in 24 games, and Hastenberg has 2 goals and 2 assists in 22 games. As for Coman, his tendency to be more direct on the wings will help the team to achieve good results. We can also predict that players like Serge Gnabry, Leroy Sané, who tends to be key parts in the build-up, might produce a higher number in terms of goal scoring. But depending on Nagelsmann's system, Coman should be able to fit in fabulously. The main question that should be asked now is whether or not the Bayern players will buy into Nagelsmann's system. Well, Bayern's traditional structure has strangled some managers. If we take recent examples, Niko Kovac is one of them. But Nagelsmann's system is clearly more dynamic and flexible. Most importantly, what Bayern needs to realize is what they are truly getting in Nagelsmann is one of the brightest technical minds in world football. Bayern should give him a chance to be creative and innovative on the pitch, and then only Julian Nagelsmann can show his true potential. Lastly, we wanna ask you guys, what do you guys think about whether Julian Nagelsmann will succeed at Bayern or not? Leave a comment on that. For those of you who are still watching this video till now, we want to say thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and consider subscribing. And if you guys have any kind of constructive criticism about our videos, we are more than happy to hear it from you. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.